Welcome to StarTalks powered by Advotalks. Today, we have our most esteemed guest, Arunima Jha, a dynamic legal professional serving as the head legal counsel at Omnicom Media Group in Mumbai. With a background in business laws and extensive experience in corporate law, intellectual law, property law, trademark law, and the entertainment law, Arunima is passionate about empowering clients to navigate legal challenges seamlessly while also contributing her expertise to spark conversations and drive innovation within the legal landscape of media. As a thought leader, she is committed to making legal complexities more accessible, ultimately enabling creative professionals to find joy in overcoming the legal obstacles. She is an avid writer and has a newsletter and has been publishing multiple articles like Consumer Disputes in India, Significance of Data Privacy Agreements, Celebrity Rights, Insolvency, Accountability for Frivolous Lawsuits. Today, she has joined us in Star Talks to express her views and experiences on empowering creativity, the legal insights on media, and the entertainment. Should admit that I'm quite excited to host her. With I warmly welcome Miss Arunima Jha to our talk show, Star Talks, powered by Advotalks.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really excited about this podcast too. I've seen your episodes in the past with other advocates, and I hope this is as interesting as your past work.
Sure, ma'am. It's going to be quite insightful for all of us at Advotalks. Let me start with a fundamental understanding from you. Could you provide with an insightful overview on the legal aspects of the media and the entertainment industry, which shape and protect the dynamic and ever evolving landscape?
So, media and entertainment and sports, these are all intertwined, and this is a very vibrant landscape in the sense that you have to balance the creativity along with legal responsibility. So, this means something from Consumer Act to CCPA to ASCI to IBDF, AAAI, IMAI, all of these guidelines one has to look into. These are indispensable and apart from this, of course, the intellectual property rights, which kinds of oversees everything. And these regulations and statutes are not just ensuring that the content is ethical in nature, but also ensuring that these are upholding the public morals. So if one has to thrive in the media industry as a media and entertainment or a sports lawyer, then one has to look at these regulations, be more specific to these acts and statutes, delve into more intricacies of these acts and learn more over there. So that's about it.
Right. That brings a lot of aspects like the institutes as well, like you mentioned about the AAAI and others who are partly definitely part of the regulatory framework. I wanted to know a bit about the how the creators and the companies in media and the entertainment can safeguard their original ideas and work under the intellectual property law ambit.
IP as a statute does give a very broad shield for all the creators, thereby enabling them to safeguard their original work. Look at Copyright Act or Trademark or Designs Act for that matter. So for one to protect their work, their creativity, they have to proactively register it. I mean, the statute doesn't really mandate in certain scenario where there is a prior usage, but with registration, it only gets better. So I think it's not just for creators, but also for businesses to ensure they are registered it, and it also deters the infringement, ensure that they are broadly protected under the law. So that's the basis of the entertainment law.
Right. This also brings a bit on, the trademark law, something that you mentioned, like why it is so crucial for individuals as well as the businesses in these fields, especially the media and entertainment or be it sports, to understand the trademark law and how it is going to protect their brand's identity.
A solid grasp of Trademark Act, okay, it allows you to understand what all regulations will apply to advertisement and content, both on linear and non-linear format. It's in a, if I can put it this way, in a bustling realm of media and entertainment, a brand identity is king. So protecting your trademark is utmost important. And there are companies, there are entities who would go and, who would spend into crores. In fact, the trademark infringement, when it happens, the claim is humongous. You can't really put a threshold to what would be the amount of claim coming from the other side, seeking damages that they have incurred because they're something that you might have used deceptively or politically similar to theirs. So I think the understanding of trademark just helps you protect your brand better, helps you give a more curated advice as a lawyer to these brands, and see how you are not only protecting your business interest but also ensuring that your brand value, when it comes to consumers, the consumers are not misled. So if you look at the Consumer Protection Act or the ASCII in particular, it mandates that any sort of advertisement that you go take online has, or on any sort of platform, has to ensure that they are honest, they are not misleading the consumers. So any and confusion with one brand, between one brand and other, could lead to potential claim from the consumer's end also. So I think trademark plays a very pivotal role over there.
Great. I think like a lot of situations where there is a brand loyalty and other stuff are also at stake. Like the trademark law is the one rescue that we can always prepare ourselves as entities, like you mentioned. Thanks for bringing that, Arunima. Let's delve a bit into the startup ecosystem. So, what legal hurdles generally do the startups in media and entertainment face, and what steps can they take to overcome some of the legal imbalances and the challenges that they face?
I think when it comes to startups, their challenges are very unique, like any other industry, even for media and entertainment sector. Um, but there is a resistance in, investing in lawyers, investing in the legal advisors. There, most of the brands, they would feel that why, spend on somebody X amount when I can get it copy pasted from Google, ask my CA or ask my CS, or rather somebody from the HR team to just download a template and copy paste it. What happens is, in the beginning only, if you do not are if you're not navigating it adequately, the complications of the legal challenges, and you're not preempting what could happen, you're not taking sound legal advice, you're exposing yourself to major risks. I think that's where the startups need to consider to invest more and more in lawyers, in compliance partners, because the more robust your contracts and the paperwork is, the well protected you are.
The compliance audits and adhering to the compliance, basically you should definitely have a good partner from that angle, as you mentioned. This is quite a tip for the startups. Arunima, let's try to understand like the role of the contract law. Like I would want to understand like how the contract law is going to be helpful for the businesses and for that matter even individuals also. We see multi parties involving into transactions. Some of them may be like cross border and cross industry oriented as well. So there is a lot of ambiguity when it comes to some of these aspects. What is that the contract law is going to help to protect the rights of the people who are getting into the media and entertainment?
The contract is the bedrock of any legal paperwork when it comes to commercial transactions, whether be it media industry or IT industry or any other industry for that matter. They are the bedrock. Okay. Having said that, when you are into this sector, the kind of work that you would be doing is with creators, distributors, publishers, depending on, then there are subsectors to it. So media and entertainment is again divided into subsectors. Now, when you're doing these paperwork, a deeper understanding of the contract law only enables the lawyer to understand the business and to craft the agreement that not only protect their rights, but also kind of acts as an enabler. not just as an impediment. I mean, there is a difference when you draft a paperwork for court and when you draft something for a commercial transaction. Here, the business interest has to supersede your legal terminology. You have to balance it in the sense that you're not exposing yourself, to an extent where you are totally. I mean, you're negating how to mitigate the risk, but at the same time, you are, also considering your business interest and ensuring that the complexity of the projects and everything is not really affected. You have to factor in a lot of elements, and I think a better understanding of contract law would give you exposure on what happens when there are multiple stakeholders, because when you prepare the paperwork, it's not just a lawyer's job. You have to see what is finance perspective, what is tax perspective, what is the commercial risk, to which what threshold I will have to cap my commercial risk. Now, for that, the business only can advise you, right? And of course, the cross-bordering elements. So, mastering contract negotiations and drafting is the key to ensure that the projects come to fruition smoothly, and of course, your interest are at all times adequately safeguarded.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for bringing that. And this also brings me to ask you something on the digital content creation. So, with the advent of technology as well, see, we see a lot of repetition of the works, and especially in the digital content creation. So, if at all I am into such kind of an activity and the distribution, basically, so how is the framework of the legalities basically of digital content creation as well as the distribution impact professionals and the businesses in the media and entertainment field, and how can I as an entity kind of ensure the compliance?
I think the digital revolution has completely transformed how the content creation and distribution is now looked upon, by the public. Now, the because of the revolution, it also brings us to the four issues related to copyright infringement, digital rights management, your compliance with any sort of online content regulations, which is passed by ASCII or IBDF for that matter, right? Now, both creators and businesses have an onus to ensure that they are not saying something out in public which is misleading, which is not honest or accurate in nature. So they have to complicate a very complex web of laws, and that includes your digital platforms and online privacy of other users as well. So I think there are regulatory bodies like ASCII, and they have specific codes for advertising content online. Now, adhering to these specific codes while employing your Copyright Act and other relevant applicable statutes, right? It only gives you a better understanding of the service on various platforms, and it is essential to strategize for professionals in the industry to protect their content and comply with these legal standards.
Okay, okay. Thanks for bringing this, on to, how one can actually safeguard, especially when someone is into the digital creation process, as you mentioned. Arunima, like we have been following you, and then you have spoke a bit about the celebrity rights, right? So, how can individuals and the organizations, kind of address the privacy concerns, especially when it comes to the media and entertainment, and navigate the legal requirements in this online world when it comes to the media and entertainment, as I mentioned.
Increased digitization of the work and the social media platforms, the advent of social media platforms, privacy concerns have become more and more paramount. Now, after the passing of the DPDP, which is not yet even enforced, many of the organizations have been proactive in the sense that they've already appointed a DPO. Even though the law says that only a significant data fiduciary is the one who has to appoint a data protection officer. It's not a mandate for the data. I mean, broadly, all the data fiduciaries, right? still many people, many entities, many companies have even appointed the grievance officer. Okay, they have proactively started collaborating with, especially in MNC, they have already started collaborating with other regional councils where they sit and understand what are the global best practices that needs to be deployed and how you are taking care of the individual's privacy. Okay, now, for media and entertainment companies, especially, this means that you have to adopt a robust data protection practice. You have to implement technical safeguards at your place at all times, especially if you are getting into some sort of a business where you will be, utilizing customer data. For example, if you are generating leads for some activity and targeting individuals, right? So in those scenarios, you have to ensure that you are securing specific consent for collecting their data, for using their data, and ensuring that there remains a transparency with users at all time about how their information is being handled. So, navigating these privacy laws and regulations is very crucial in maintaining consumer trust and avoiding legal pitfalls for the digital age.
I see a kind of much importance, the rising importance of the legal advisors and the consultants, especially when it comes to the privacy aspect as well, especially for the celebrities, in the industry of media and entertainment as well as sports for that matter. So coming on to the practice side, I want you to give suggestions for the legal aspirants and the law students who are aspiring to be the professionals looking to build a career in the media and entertainment or sports industry for that matter.
So I'm glad you asked me this question because I'll tell you this happened to me by luck. Okay, when we are in law school, nobody really teaches us something like media and entertainment. The only thing we probably think of media lawyers is someone like Harvey Specter in suits, and we think that's a very jazzy job where you get to wear your suits and meet all celebrities, go for wine and dine, and that's the part of your job. And sadly, which is not, because it's a back end kind of a job. You're supporting your stakeholders, you're supporting different verticals. Not every time the lawyer is meeting those celebrities. It might happen when you are, you're asked to assist or kind of coordinate with some other vertical where you are supposed, you go on during the shoot. Okay, so, for an aspiring law student who wants to get into this field, a solid foundation in the IPR, in contract law, and also regulatory, understand the working of the regulatory bodies like ASPE, CCPA, IBDF will be invaluable. Another thing that comes to my mind is the employment labor statute. There's a lot of question when it comes to compliance. What all things that a company needs to do. So, gaining practical experiences through internships or working with somebody who's a litigating advocate in these kind of work. Okay. Uh, where he or she is handling celebrity matters or working in house can provide them insight of unique challenges and opportunities in the field. So, staying abreast of the legal, and technological trends as well will equip you to offer strategies which you have to deploy because it's an ever evolving industry landscape, and the law is also so evolving that the guidelines from ASCII sometimes they are passed in like within the quarter of the year. So within 4 months, you have a new guideline come into place or new clarification, new notification. So if you're not abreast of these legal changes, you will not be in a position to give the best advice to your client.
Right, that brings us to like the knowledge about the happenings around the industry is quite required for the professionals to get into this industry, and quite many other tips have been given by you. I wanted to understand a bit on the especially the the entertainment industry. We see that the content has been kind of copied from somewhere, and then probably due to certain reasons there may be a communal violence that may erupt, and somewhere around these kind of issues may erupt, And the bodies like the CBFC also kind of put or impose some kind of restrictions on the movies that are getting released, or probably they can attack the celebrities directly. They are being called up for courts. So on the practice aspect, like how the knowledge of multi-dimensional aspects, like sometimes it may be political motive, or sometimes it may be actually
Mm.
something which is related to the communal violence which may erupt. So what is the role that the practitioners should have, and what is the importance of having such information, and then any tips to kind of be yourself on top of the items?
Legal battles when it comes to copyright infringement, trademark infringement are not new. And especially with the digitization of the whole social media and the world that we see as it is today, right? Uh, you never know when one might come with a claim of being offended by your content, even though you have not said anything uh, categorically offensive, but that person takes it in a different way, right? Now, what happens is that one, you have to read the case laws. You have so many websites, so many apps today like Live Law, Bar and Bench, Manupatra, which helps you get in touch with the recent updates when it comes. So there is a new judgment that has come from the Supreme Court or any high court for that matter. You can stay in touch with that. Okay, keep reading regularly. I think one of the habit that has helped me is to keep reading. Read as much as you can. A lawyer, any good lawyer, will also be an avid reader. That's something we certainly cannot skip. And so, I have seen today even the actors now are going and getting their attributes copyrighted. So that brings to the main issue that how important even the moral rights, the attributes have now become. And this is going to be more and more evolved, the digital world of it. We are going to be more glued to this more digital rights. And today it's, at the click of your finger, you come to see so many things on your phone. Somebody has abused an animal, you can see the video on your phone, and it makes you emotional at times. You would, out of that emotion, you go and react over that video. You may use words which are not proper, improper words. Just in that, it's a reaction, human reaction, right? If somebody culls out that comment and files a complaint, it is, it's a very volatile world, so to say. So these examples that I was talking about, these highlight how a deep understanding of the law not only helps you in protecting your creative rights, but also navigating the disputes when even the best of the companies are nowadays getting into disputes over the usage of the copyright or joint ownership of the logo or the trademark, where they get into disputes. So your legal expertise can steer clear of these hurdles and help them advise in a manner where the innovation of the creators are treated with utmost priority and are protected at all times.
Absolutely. That brings us, like, there are a lot of misconceptions and misunderstandings about the law as well as the creativity in the media and entertainment as such. So as the community from the legal fraternity, so what do you think that we can do as practitioners to clear them up, especially for the media and entertainment professionals?
Common misconception that I have come across is legal constraints. When you go to a lawyer, he is going to act as an impediment. So why involve a lawyer when you can do the paperwork yourself, right? It's just an activity. It's just a brand promotion activity. It's only a celebrity endorsement, right? How would a lawyer understand the importance of business? And this happens with the best of the companies, right? So, in reality, the legal framework is only supporting the creative endeavor. The legal framework is there to protect your IP. It is to promote fair competition, and it also provides a very structured environment in which the creativity can flourish. The other misunderstanding is that compliance is too burdensome for creative industries. So when you say registration, I think there is a hesitance, there is a reluctance on part of people and creators that why spend so much of money? कुछ होना तो है नहीं. So we'll see when जब case होता है, तो then we'll see what needs to be done. But with the right knowledge and strategic planning, legal obligations can be managed very effectively. Like I said, anybody should look at lawyers as their friends. Of course, you need to have the right set of lawyers on your side. But then, if you have the right guy by your side, you can navigate these complex scenarios in a much, much effective way. And you can thrive while adhering to your ethical and both legal standards.
Great. Having a good legal partnership is something that definitely is going to be of rescue, and it's not just on a case-to-case basis, but it should be on a continuous engagement, as you mentioned. I really, appreciate for bringing that point. And the last question for the day, Arunima, like for whatever you're seeing, the overall upbringing of the industry, the media and entertainment. So, what advice you wanted to give the professionals who wanted to get into, keeping themselves apprised and, up to the mark into the, changing legal landscape?
Think it's like I said, it's a very evolving industry, and of course, there is also a change in these this evolve when I say evolution, this is driven by technological advancement and also the change in the consumer behavior. So something which wouldn't have been really construed as offensive or infringing a consumer right, today it's become a very sensitive issue. And the courts have also been very sensitized upon these things. When you file a consumer complaint, even the courts are so supportive in these cases. So to understand what are the technological advancement, how the consumer behaviors are changing, what are the few, and of course the future trends, which includes more comprehensive laws on the digital consent, evolving copyright norms to address new media forms, because the media and the content is always changing. Just to give you an example, 5 years back there was no strict concept of an influencer as such. Today, an influencer is as good as a celebrity, right? So when you ask them to promote your product, go online, say something, provide a content on your product. It's a very new concept altogether. I mean, 5 years back, if you see, there were YouTubers who were making videos going to some place, capturing their day. But today, that's not the scene. So who knows what would happen 5 years or 10 years down the line? It is completely changing, and it's fascinating at the same time. It's fun. So any professional who wants to get into this game and wants to stay ahead, you have to be proactive. That means not just understanding the law, but understanding the demands of the consumer, understanding the business, staying abreast of the regulations and their norms like ASCI, and understanding what is the requirement. How do I leverage these my legal strategies to achieve the best outcome for my client? That's the most important thing I feel. And of course, adapting to these shifts will be very crucial for success in media and entertainment sector, so to say.
Great, great. Like what is the demand from the consumer side or the business, as you mentioned, as well as the existing compliance or the regulatory framework and whatever may be applicable to the specific businesses. I think like these are the two fundamental aspects. And apart from that, of course, the professionals should be showcasing much of a discipline and then be open for catching up or gearing up with the advancements, as you mentioned, on the technology front as well. So I think like at Advotalks, we have definitely enjoyed this fruitful and insightful discussion, Arunima. So this brings us to end of the great insightful conversation. You have brought up a lot of aspects on the insights, looking onto the framework as well as the preparedness of the providers, the service providers who are digital creators, the content creators, the celebrities as such you mentioned, who are kind of part of the entertainment and the media industry, be it the sports as well. You have given us a lot of kickstart discussions that we wanted to enlarge in sparing time in future with you. Thanks a lot for taking time for this platform, Arunima.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm glad to be part of this entire podcast. Like I said, I'm a fan. So thank you for having me here.
So that's about today's episode with Arunima Jha, which brings a good understanding on the legal insights of media as well as the entertainment industry, which touched upon a bit on the sports aspect as well. We hope this conversation was knowledgeable. And for more updates and information on the legal concepts, please visit our website www.advotalks.com. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Advotalks.